Wonderkid to world class. This is an FM26 development guide on how to make your Wonderkids world class players. Now, I've got thousands of hours across Football Manager games. I've tried lots of different methods with young players. That sounds kind of crazy. But through those thousands of hours, I have found the best ways to get the best development out of young players and get them into your first team as quick as possible. Without further ado, let's get into the video. I'm going to show you boys how to make your Wonderkids world class. Let's get into it. To start today's video, boys, we're going to be on David Watson, the 21-year-old Scottish midfielder. Now, as you can see on David, there is a lot of up arrows on his development. Now, as you can see at the top here, he is on loan from Man United, the club I'm managing at the moment, to Werder Bremen over in Germany. And to kind of back up my point here even further of what I'm about to make, as you can see by his performances, he's played 11 games in the Bundesliga, 7 off the bench. He's played 3 in the DFB Pokal. He's played in the International League, and he's not really played too well. He's not got goals and assists from midfield. He's not really creating a lot of XG for assists, 0.5, 2 chances created, not a lot of key tackles. But as you can see on the player himself, he is developing. And that brings me to my first point of game time. You need to send your players out who are young, 18, 19, 20, even 21 now in David's case, out on loan. There is no bigger developer in Football Manager than game time. You can have the best under 21 facilities in the world. You can have the best under 21 team in the world. Your under 21s could win every game 10-0. Win every league, every cup, and sure, they still will develop, but not as good as sending out your players to challenge themselves in the top leagues around the world and to develop through game time. And when you're sending your players to these clubs around the world, like Werder Bremen, I want to take your attention to the bottom left of the screen where it says facilities. We need to be making sure that our Wonderkids are going to clubs with great or better training facilities. If I click onto the facilities now of Werder Bremen, as you can see, training is state-of-the-art training facilities. You actually can't get better than this on the game. So when Werder Bremen came into me with an offer to take David Watson on loan and play him as a regular starter or better, and I saw that they had one of the best training facilities in the world, it is a no-brainer. It is a very important part of sending your Wonderkids out on loan is the training facilities of the club you are sending them to. Now, there is a caveat to this. There is another way around this. Let's say you've got a Wonderkid like Chido Obi-Martin at Manchester United. You could send him to a club with lesser training facilities but in a lesser league, knowing he's going to perform better and get more goals, get more assists, have higher ratings. That might mean he develops better. That is also a great way of developing your Wonderkids. But if you were to ask me, Big Roberto, how are you going to develop your Wonderkids the best way? It's first team football, it's state-of-the-art training facilities, and you're going to watch your players' attributes fly. So when you're offering lots of players out on loans and you get 5 or 6 offers from different clubs, I want you boys to be clicking into every club like Werder Bremen here and looking at this bottom left. What are their training facilities like? The youth facilities, maybe even what are the tactics like. But that concludes the first tip, boys, making sure that your players are going out to a club with great training facilities and getting game time. These two things put together, guaranteed development. The next tip, boys, is all about the player roles that you are using in your team. If you have got a player who is a number 10, for example, an attacking midfielder, but you want them to be playing as an advanced playmaker, you need to train them as an advanced playmaker. And this tip is very, very simple, boys. You're going to head over to the actions on your player. Like today, I am on Simone Profunde, my GOAT, my hero, the Wonder Boy. We're going to click on actions and we're going to bring up the training tab. Now, when we see position and role, we're going to hover over, we're going to go down to AMC, which is attacking midfielder, and make sure that you have ticked the role you want your player to be playing in. You're going to do this all over the pitch, whether you've got a striker, a centre-back, a left-back, a defensive midfielder. I want you to be training these players in the role you specifically want them to play, based off the tactic you're using or based off the role you want to develop them into. So, for example, I've looked at Profundi here. I'm looking at the dribbling, the first touch, the technique, the flair, the agility. He looks like a playmaker to me. You know, he's only got 9 finishing. He's got 10 concentration, 13 composure. He doesn't look to me like a goal-scoring attacking midfielder. So for me, I want to train him as a playmaker, and it's so important that you select that role. So in training, these are the attributes that are going to be highlighted and be trained better. So for example, now I might see his passing go up a little bit more, his vision, his agility and balance. Things like this that you want a playmaker to have may develop better. Make sure you're doing this across your whole first team and your under 21s. Make sure the players are developing in the role that you want them to. Now, this next tip on the Wonderkid guide is one of the biggest tips I have ever had across my streams, my YouTube, everything I've ever done. This is actually going to be an exclusive, first time ever mentioning this on video. So if you are watching this right now, trust me, you are privileged. I am now going to show you how to find these Wonderkids. This is a really big tip. You can find any position on the pitch with this. Let me show you. The first thing we're going to do is navigate to the player database. We want to be searching across the world. I want you guys first on the search criteria to change your age to from 17 years old to 20 years old. You can have this at 18 to 21. You can have it at 16 to 19. You can have 16 to 21. It's completely up to you what age range you want to do it. We're then going to pick attributes. And what we're going to do, we're going to select every single one of these attributes. And on the click of my fingers, they're going to change. And just like that, all the attributes are selected for an outfield player. And then we're going to click apply in the bottom right. We're going to come back to our edit search tab and we are going to click on attributes. And as you can see, there is 36 attributes highlighted for all positions on the pitch that are at 15. Now, the chances of finding a Wonderkid between the age of 17 and 20 who's got 15 in these attributes is very unlikely. So what we're going to do, we're going to click conditions. We're going to go back to attributes. We're going to click minus to 13 like this. You see now, they're all 13. We're going to click minus 2 times. We're going to keep the match on half, so we're going to do 18 out of 36. Once we click apply, now you can see a list of players behind me. There's 63 in total. This is how you're going to find Wonderkids with the highest attributes through your player database. And of course, at the top, it's going to recommend players like Miles Lewis-Skelly, obviously one of the best youngsters on the game, Endrick, Rodrigo Mora, Finn Jelch. But where this Wonderkid search comes in best is when you scroll down to the lower values and you find some gems. For example, here, Francesco Camada, Italian striker, 15 to 20 million, looks insane. We've got a player here in Juho Latanimaki. I don't know if I've said that name wrong. A left back who looks very well rounded at Norgeland, 9 to 10 mil. Find a Wonderkid here in Nathan Decat at 18 years old, 30k to 300k for a midfielder at 18 with them attributes. Of course, boys, as well, you can adjust this how you see fit. You might want to put the attributes up to 14. You might want to change the match down to 14. You might want to keep on looking through and scouting through and seeing if you can find any other Wonderkids like Hekamoglu here. You've got Mark Benal who's come up. You've got Keith Smith who's a great player. You can do this for whoever you want, whatever attribute, whatever match. But I promise you, boys, there is no better way for finding Wonderkids on the game than this search filter. Now we know how to find our Wonderkids as well. When you bring them to the club, it is very important to make sure your youth facilities and your training facilities are top notch. You constantly want to be asking the board to upgrade these facilities. Now, to some people who have played FM for a lot of years, this might seem like second nature, but it is something that I actually still forget to do. Every 6 months or so is asking the board, come on, let's improve these youth facilities. Let's make the training better. Obviously, the better facilities you have at your club, when you bring them Wonderkids in, the better chance they have at developing if you are not going to send them out on loan and keep them in the first team. And if you're wondering, boys, how you do these facilities and how you upgrade them and ask the board to make them better, you're going to go to the club tab at the top where we are currently on the facilities. You're going to click the drop down on more, click on board, and as you can see, you've got a whole load of things in here. You've got the stadium, you've got the facilities like you can see there, improve youth facilities. You've got your networking to improve youth recruitment. Make sure you are doing all of these things to make sure you're getting the best chance of developing your Wonderkids at your current club. So for example, on the facilities now, if we click on improve youth facilities, the board will get back to you shortly to let you know their decision. They will either say, yes, this is something we're going to do, it will be completed by this day, or they will just straight up deny you like they did when I tried to ask for an affiliate club recently. But hopefully, like you can see here, if you ask to improve the facilities, they do actually do it, meaning you've got better facilities at your club and your Wonderkids are developing in a better environment. Another huge tip, boys, is mentoring on FM26. Now, mentoring is where a more experienced older player creates a group with a bunch of younger players and they can pass on their hidden attributes and personality traits onto these players. Let me show you how to set up these mentoring groups. It takes 2 minutes. It lasts all season long. It's such a simple but effective method into making your Wonderkids have better hidden attributes and better personalities. So what we're going to do, we're going to come to the search bar at the top. We're going to type in mentoring and click on this mentoring box here. Now, when we are in here, we've got 1 or 2 options. You can ask your assistant manager to create the mentoring groups. If I click on this button now, as you can see, it's going to create the mentoring groups and you can see how it's doing it. So Matthias de Ligt now, a 27-year-old centre-back now on my save, is mentoring Buwade, who's a defensive midfielder, 19 years old, and Reece Bennett, who is a centre-back, who is 18 years old. You've got a mentoring group here with Mason Mount, an attacking midfielder, working with Estevao, an attacking midfielder, and Chris Rigg, a more attacking centre-mid. You've got here as well Mateus Cunha, working with Francolino, a young striker, Esposito, a young striker. So the assistant managers are actually quite good at making the groups, and what this is going to do is Mateus Cunha's personality or hidden attributes in terms of attacking are going to pass off onto Francolino, onto Esposito. But what you can also do is create your own mentoring group at the bottom here. So for example, I might want Bayendir, the oldest keeper at my club, to work with Vitek and Lamens. That's 3 goalkeepers. It's a goalkeeper group. If I select all 3 there by clicking them sidebars and click confirm, that is going to make them as a mentoring group. And as you can see, they're all going to work together together as a goalkeeping group to improve each other. So like I say, boys, if you can make a mentoring group with lots of different experienced players, let's say you have an experienced striker, an experienced winger, an experienced centre-back, an experienced goalkeeper at the club, there's 4 players, and you've got players underneath them who are coming up in their position, you want to get them into their mentoring groups to help pass off what they've learned, they're experienced. Like I've said, their hidden attributes, their personality types that are also important to development, you want them to be passing down. It's a huge thing on the game. Like I said, you've just watched me there. It takes 2 minutes to set up at the start of your seasons. Make sure you are doing these mentoring groups. Now, the last thing that we're going to talk about on today's video, boys, is the personality types of Wonderkids. Now, on Football Manager, there is a lot of different personalities that players can have that impact their growth, their consistency, their professionalism, and all of the above. The main ones you want to be looking out for on Football Manager are model citizen, model professional, and professional personalities. These 3 personalities are going to mean a player has better professionalism, more room for growth, and more consistency on and off the pitch. Other positive personalities are perfectionist and resolute. These indicate players that are dedicated to their training and their development more than others. Now, when we keep talking about hidden attributes, these are the type of players that have higher determination, higher work rate in training, and higher ambition, meaning they want to grow more, they want to develop more, meaning you're probably going to see more development. So, for example, on the screen right now, you've got Lucas Bergvall at Spurs. If we look over to the right-hand side, he's a model citizen personality. In terms of development and growth, this is going to be one of the players who, across all saves, is going to develop one of the best. For example, here, we've got Endrick at Real Madrid, who's got a perfectionist personality type. This guy, on and off the pitch, is going to strive for perfection in everything he does, probably meaning he's going to develop better than other Wonderkids who don't have it. Here we've got Hekamoglu, who is a resolute personality, meaning in training, he's going to be giving it his all every single day to improve. Of course, boys, we could sit here forever and go through this list of Wonderkids looking at all the personality types, but it is a really key point that you boys need to be looking at the personalities of Wonderkids before signing them. This is something you need to be checking on every Wonderkid. If they are not a perfectionist, if they're not determined, if they're not ambitious, if they are not resolute in their training, they are not going to develop despite the game time you give them, despite the club that they're in. I mean, if you look at Wonderkids around the world, like Jadon Sancho, for example, someone who off the pitch doesn't seem to care about their progress and their development, you would probably say his personality is not ambitious, you know, not determined, low ambition. Whereas you look at Wonderkids like Shoes United, for example, in Amad Diallo, who's gone out on multiple loans, come back to United, and now he's proving a point in the first team, you would probably see him as a determined player. It is all a big factor in the development, the hidden attributes and the personality type of these players. But that is going to be the end of today's video, boys. I hope you learned something off today's video. Again, this video will be split into chapters. There's going to be different sections of the video that you can learn from or come back from if you want to refresh your memory on the knowledge I've given you today. And what I want to say is that all of these tips all co-align together. So when you're looking for these Wonderkids, make sure you're looking for that high determination and that personality type. When you're loaning them out after you've signed them, make sure you're sending them to clubs with great training facilities. If you're keeping them at your club, make sure you give them game time and make sure that your club has good facilities or you're striving to get the best facilities. All of these tips coincide with each other and you need to use every single one of these tips at each point of your Wonderkids development. Like I said, if you're new to this game, make sure you apply these tips. If you're still a veteran of this game who's put thousands of hours in like me, make sure you are mentally refreshing your memory to make sure you are doing these things in game. If you boys enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate if you leave a like, and if you did learn something from this video as well, I would love if you left a comment, because it'd be quite interesting to see what some people maybe didn't know compared to what people do know, and kind of see the different levels or what tip is more helpful and what is more just common knowledge maybe. If you've enjoyed this content today as well, we have other tip videos on the channel. We also have a Manchester United series going on at the moment that is absolutely peak. We've got some very fun rebuilds and challenges coming out over the next week as well, so stick around for that content. Make sure you sub to the channel so you don't miss an upload. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Rise!